hello. It's Mama Swan out here in these streets. How are you? I'm on live. I know it's a bit of a change, and I really wish my Canon was working because would have better picture, but you're gonna have to bear with me. It's hat season. This is the one I was wearing on YouTube yesterday. Today I didn't get the video done. Hi Nadine. I didn't get the video done for our usual pre-recorded videos, but that's a good thing because I get to actually touch base and say hello to my beauties, see how you are all doing. Now, I am not feeling this light, but hey, Virgo Queen. I think this might be better. It's a little bit softer. What y'all think? The other one is like, give me your comments. What do you think about this light? Is it better than the other light? How are you all doing? I see there are 14 of us here. That's fantastic. We're coming in. We're coming in. Fantastic. I love, love, love lives, and I'm probably going to be here live. Yes, like this light. Brilliant. Appreciate your teaching, love, and dedication. Love you, Tracy. Much better. Thank you. Hi, I'm watching you live from Ghana, West Africa. Hello, sweetie. So, so good to see you. You ladies are always in my comments, which is fantastic. So your faces are looking a little bit familiar. And I love that you're all here. The light is great. Watching you from Chelmsford, Essex. Oh, local girl. That's amazing. Well, I'm not in Essex, but you're in London, well, around about London, aren't you? Laura, hi. Hi, everyone. I'm so glad you came to play. I know some of you were with me on Instagram yesterday, so I'm going to be coming here hopefully. First time here. Well, welcome to Keisha. Welcome to the Black Swan universe. Hello, everyone from Crystal in Las Vegas. Come on now. Live anyway. Love that hat. Thank you. It's hat season, girl. I actually had my hair done yesterday and I didn't quite like how my hairdresser did it. So I was like, I am wearing a hat, otherwise I'm going to be like so conscious. But I do love it. She's going to do it again. I'm feeling the braids lately. They're working for me. Brilliant. So today, what are we talking about, ladies? We're going to be talking about accept these three things and create. Thank you, Beverly. And create the love you want. Okay, so that's today's title. That should have been pre-recorded, but I thought, hey, why not? However, before I get into the title, you know how I do, ladies. Before I get into the title, for those of you who don't know who I am, my name is Chengi. I'm your dating and relationship expert here at the Black Swan Relationship Academy. And my coaches and I, thank you, Rola, are here to teach you ladies how to present as a high value, high status, and high worth woman that high quality men find completely irresistible. So if you're that girl, you're on the right channel. And that's what we're going to be talking about here. I totally adore you all. Okay. And I just need you all to know that last year we had Nice Girl Rehab last month, but we decided to have it in November. I think we had it this month, but we've decided to move it to November so as many of you can come as possible, because that was perhaps the most transformational event that the Black Swan Relationship Academy actually had. And today, this morning, I woke up to one of the girls that joined Nice Girl Rehab last year having a public proposal after a play. I'm going to post it on Instagram. You know, and she was one of the women that came to Nice Girl Rehab and it completely changed her life. And to be honest with you, there are a lot of engagements in the Black Swan Relationship Academy this year. You know, so I'm waiting on permission to share. But you know, you will see a lot of rings this year. So I'm really excited because it's not just my work, because I can only see so many people, but it's also the work of the coaches. And well done to Coach Unique for this particular engagement that's come up this morning. So I'm really excited because this lady went on to engage. She came with some friends and it was so amazing. And the transformations and the stories that happened from Nice Girl Rehab last year are crazy. And we already have the challenge on Swan City on Facebook. So I want everybody to go do the challenge first and get au fait, because I'm going to be building on Nice Girl Rehab. You're going to see promotional stuff all over the place, Instagram, YouTube, but it is a free event, okay? And it is going to be mind-blowing, and we're really addressing the nice girl that is permission seeking, approval seeking, right? All of those behaviors that really stop us from living our best life, choosing the man that's right for us. You know, I've been having so many conversations, my coaches are having so many conversations of women really asking for permission to love who they love, right? And when we are in that state, we hemorrhage relationships. So anyway, other than just love relationships, people will experiencing shifts in their relationships with their families, with their sisters, with their siblings, because what I talk about in the Nice Girl Rehab is transformational. So you want to definitely be on that free event coming up on the 5th of November. Put that in your diary, because it's gonna be on and popping. So moving forward, you will be getting adverts for that. So be there with me and the coaches on the 5th of November, where we're gonna be doing Nice Girl Rehab Reloaded, baby. We are like all guns blazing, boom, 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 boom. We are getting rid of this nice girl syndrome that's stopping us from finding love in the way that we deserve. So if you're with me, let me hear it. Let me hear it, swans. Okie dokie. So that was an important piece of information for you to know. I also wanted to say something really important before I get into the meat. And because it's live, I get to really just spend a lot of time with you. I don't want to be rushing this call. We're going to be here for a while. So grab yourself a cup of tea, your favorite glass of whatever you like. Whether you're watching the replay or not, this is a good time for you to go and grab yourself a nice drink, because we're going to sit down and have a girly chat, and we're going to talk for a while. And I want you ladies at some point, especially when I'm done with these 3 points, to ask me as many questions as you like, because I'm going to stay here and take care of you and make sure that I give you as much feedback as possible so that we're doing it right. Because I was actually going to make this video a public service announcement, because I don't believe that we are using, you know, all of us who are content creators, especially in the relationship world, are very, very well meaning. But I have recently really touched down and become very aware of the responsibility that we as a community of coaches and leaders in the relationship space have to making sure that you're really understanding the purpose of each piece of content. Because what some of us are doing is lifting content of videos, you know, and directly applying it to a situation and circumstance that doesn't necessarily apply, right? We're literally you know, taking this video, putting it on that relationship that we're in, and we're creating a little bit of mayhem. There's a lot of mayhem going on because we are really just misapplying the information. And it's not anybody's fault. It's just, you know, social media, you know, advice giving on this platform, it's really infantile. We're all still learning. People are paying huge prices for getting it wrong. And, you know, as followers, you're also learning, you're sort of facing a lot. But what I want you to really understand is that when a video content is created, it doesn't always apply in the same situation that you are in, okay? It's really good for us to build our knowledge base, but what I want us to do is have a mindset that is learning the body of work and really kind of understanding the nuances of a relationship and thinking, okay, maybe I can apply this piece, but I can't necessarily apply that piece yet. Maybe I can apply it a little bit later. But more importantly, it's really about you saying to yourself, I need to pick up the phone and see if that applies to this. And this is why we have the coaches, so that we can really make sure that you are applying it properly. Because there have been too many instances where relationships that were really valid have sort of gone off on a wrong tangent because of application. All right, so we want to make sure that we're applying these things properly, because they are powerful and they are useful, but we have to make sure the application is right. One of my mentors taught me something. It's not just the information, it's how you interpret it and how you apply it. That's a process that that involves a lot of wisdom. So I want us to understand that just having information and just, you know, lifting the video off, you know, the content of the video and applying it to a relationship is not always the wise thing to do, which is why I'm going to stay on a little bit longer, because I want you to be able to ask me as many questions as you like, so that I make sure that you completely comprehend the content of this video. All right, so let's get on with it. Any questions before I move forward? Have you all come back from getting your teas and coffees? I should have actually got myself one. I'm sitting here thinking, girl, you're going to be talking for like forever. And hang on, what do I have here? I have watermelon juice. I've been drinking a lot of this, and it's really the best form of water, I'm told. So my nutritionist tells me that it's the best form of water, just, you know, water that comes from fruit. But, you know, we shall discuss that on another day. Righty ho. So let's go. The first point is, what's the title again? Accept these 3 things and create the love you want. Okay, why do I say create? Because we are here to create. We're creative beings. Women are creative beings. Humans are creative beings. The life you have is what you have created. Yes, also high in vitamin C. Yes. So we are all kind of experiencing love lives that are based on what we have created. Even if you are single and miserable, you've created that. And I know it seems harsh, but I love sovereignty. I really do. I am one of these people that really, you know, everything that I create and do and have created in my life has really been on the foundation of personal sovereignty. And what that means to me is I get to really make decisions, choices that can affect a negative thing and make it positive. And by believing that in a very powerful way, I have created the negative situations in my life, it empowers me to know that the same power that I use to create negative circumstances, I can use that power to create great circumstances. And that's how I've been able to lift myself from poverty and lift myself from, you know, horrible relationships and lift myself up from a life that I didn't love to the life that is the Black Swan life, right? And I want every Black Swan to understand that your love life is in your hands, that the love life that you have is truly the love life you're creating. You're either creating that love life from your brokenness, you're creating it from your pain, from your wounds, from your unhealed stories, from your narrative, or you're creating that love life from a place of healing and a place of, I truly deserve, I am enough, I deserve the best, I need what I need and want what I want. And from that place, that's the only place we create the Black Swan life. That's the only way we create the Black Swan experience, whether it's in our money, it's in our health, and it's in our love life. Okay. So with that being said, these 3 things are not the only 3 things that matter, but definitely in my practice and the time that I've been, you know, helping women all over the world at every level, from celebrities to regular ladies, you know, like ourselves, some of us, these things really, really are coming up in my practice and always do. And this is something that I know that we've all heard before, but I want to discuss this with you on this live. And number 1, no one, absolutely no one is going to come ready made. I think that, you know, part of what we, and when I say we, I'm really speaking for those of us who are leaders in the relationship space. What we forgot to say, what we forgot to articulate to you as we share these things is when we talk about high value men and masculine men, I think sometimes we can convey that to you as though these are perfect men, that these are men that have it all together, men that know how to move with women, men who know how to be. These are men who have the raw materials, the capacity and the capability of being good to a woman in the way that Black Swans like to experience a man being good. But I really want to impress this upon us, that the man that you are going to meet, right, is not ready made for you. Okay, what you're gonna get are a good set of ingredients. What you're gonna get is a man that's willing to listen to you, a man that's willing to work with you, a man that is willing to show up for you, a man that is willing to hear you. Those are good ingredients. A man that, even if he cannot provide for you, he feels a need to be the provider and really appreciates it when you are a support. One of the things that we have to be very, very clear about is I don't want to create a utopia around relationships, because if I do so, you know, yes, my clients come from dating nobody to being flown around the world on special dates. Yes, my clients get engaged in ridiculous amounts of time. I think that the earliest engagements I've had has been this year, which has been, I think, 2 months or something. Yes, these things happen, but they're not utopic. It's not, you know, gosh, you know, she's marrying this already made man. There is very much an element of work. It's very much a matter of, look, you have a set of raw materials in your hands. Are you prepared to put them together in such a way that a meal can be made? Or are you just going to spend time labeling the what he doesn't have? I want us to know that in order for us to create the love we want, we're going to have to create it with a fallible human. What that means is this guy will get angry like every other guy. This guy may even ask you on silly dates. This guy might take long to ask you on a date. This guy may come with less money than you may want him to have, but he will have the potential to have it. This guy may come with his wounds. He may need you to be so healed that you hold space for him to grow and heal too. We are meeting humans who have been through life. And one of the things that particularly is really dawning on me that we're not quite gripping, we're not quite touching down with, is the fact that the, this, the work that you need to put in with a man, the back and forth you need to put in with a man is stuff that we have become lazy in doing. Because I feel that we've told you that if you just choose the right guy, that's tick, tick, tick. You know, I remember listening to some research, and for many, many years, I truly believed, you know, because the research was, or the expert who said it, I don't remember, but it was like 80% of relationship success is selection. In the years that and I truly believed it, it's just about choosing the right guy, right? If you just choose the right guy, that's 80% of your problem solved. The other 20 is all gravy. But the more I have been in the relationship space, the more relationships I have been able to create with my clients, that my coaches and I have been able to create with our clients, the more I realize the selection is only 1/3 really of the matrix. The other third is really your attitude. You know, it's your attitude as a woman of, is this a man that I can invest some time, hold some space for while he grows? Is this a man that has the potential? Now, I don't want to necessarily use that word because I know that some of us have invested a lot of time and effort and energy and potential that never becomes anything. But let's face it, life is a gamble, love is a gamble. There are a lot of gambles we're making every day, but choosing when you were young, especially if you're under 25, choosing a man with potential and nurturing that potential is not a bad idea. In your 30s to 40s, it is possible if he is moving in the direction of his potential, if he is establishing and has got a very clear path. You know, when I got married at the age of 19, my ex-husband, I married him because he had potential. And, you know, I was the kind of woman who was able to get behind him and breathe on it. And by the time we got divorced, he was a completely different man. 13 years later, you know, it was like night and day, the man that he had become. And I know that obviously at 19 all the way to, you know, through my 20s, that was a perpetual investment. But had things not gone the way they had, we would have established an incredible life and family. So we have to realize that there are some men who can truly benefit from a woman who can hold space for him to grow. When I say hold space, I mean a non-criticizing, positive space where a man can feel like, yeah, with this woman, I think I can make it. This woman, she's encouraging, she's focused, she's got great ideas. Because, sweetie, he could be the guy that meets all your core needs, but in this area, he's falling short. And, what I wanted to also say, especially on this part, is a lot of us are jeopardizing good relationships with men because they don't fit the matrix. Oh, he should provide, protect, all of these things, which of course are part of the Black Swan protocol. But not every you those may not be your core needs. I had a lady that I spoke to, and she is very, very, very wealthy. Yes, she's very, very wealthy woman, and I'm gonna get to all of your beautiful questions in a minute. How do we achieve such healing? Oh, lovely question. I love your wisdom. Thanks. What could you recommend to do in order to make a man explode his own potential? He's moving in the direction of his potential, but what could I do to improve it? I love that, Diana. I tell you what, Diana, there's a new group on Facebook that we're starting, but it's already there, and it's called Black Swan Relationship. So you would just get into Black Swan Nation and get a subscription. And we're going to be in there really talking about, especially for girls that are already in relationships, because I realized that Black Swan Nation currently really super caters to girls that are dating, wanting to attain a relationship, but we have the Black Swan Nation relationships. But I will answer it on this on this live for you. Did I just miss my train of thought? Okay, so we're going to talk about, so this lady who came to me was very wealthy, but she met this amazing guy who in every way met her core needs. He was loving, he was consistent, she really loved every part of him. She felt alive, she felt great. But then she got stuck because she was so stuck on, but he can't provide for me, right? He can't provide, and he's got to be able to provide. And I'm thinking, yes, he is providing. He's providing you with your core needs. You have all this money. That means it can't be a core need. You have security that you've created for yourself. Woohoo! I know that as hypergamous beings, we want equal or better. But we have to really live with the reality that provision isn't just what a man can financially bring to the table alone. If a man provides for all your core needs, and we talk about core needs a lot, and we talk about them, I break them down for you in the Nice Girl Rehab Challenge in Swan City. So it's already pinned in the group. And I talk about how to establish your core needs there. Okay, so you can go and do that challenge. And I've got a few videos here. So I don't want to label what and how to get to your core needs. But this man was supplying and hitting every single high point of her core needs. But she was so caught up in the rhetoric, right? She was so caught up in but that she eventually sabotaged this relationship. And by the time she came to me, and she hadn't been coaching with me, she'd been coaching with somebody else within the relationship space. And by the time she came to me, that relationship had been completely shipwrecked, and she was devastated because she was like, I could have, I love him. I love him more than anything in the world. So here she is, with a man who did her no, I mean, the guy could not have done any better, but she was so hung up on this matrix that he's got to be providing in this way. So this is why I say we cannot lift content of videos and run off and do it in our relationships. And this is not a young woman who's trying to get pregnant, right? This is a woman in her 50s, 60s. She's at a different stage in life, right? We're not talking about a younger woman who's gonna have babies and who's gonna need to be taken care of. Again, there's so many nuances to the advice that we give. So it's really important that you think, does this apply to me? And if I'm not sure, let me ask a question. If you go to Swan City, you can ask a question. The coaches and I are always in there, will answer your question. And it's all free. Right, so there's no reason for us to be making these sort of mistakes. So I want us to know that it's really about making sure that, when you have somebody who can create your core needs, we can work with that guy, right? Because everything else might be falling to the ground. Everything else might be a bit wonky. But, I say to my clients, And to every one of you, it takes 10 years for a couple to become enmeshed and become one person. It takes 10 years of building a relationship, 10 years worth of disagreements and fights, 10 years of, I swear to God, I can't stand him, before you merge, before you truly become one in terms of seeing the world from the same perspective. But we don't even want to give it a chance before in the first 3 weeks because we're so busy ticking boxes. And these boxes are important, but we have to understand that there's a whole interpretation factor to this information, right? There's a whole, what are your core needs? Does he provide those core needs? Yes, then he's a provider, right? What are my, non-negotiables? Does he come with non-negotiables? No, then he's a protector. That means that he's not going to bring you harm. He will not bring you harm, and he won't allow harm to come to you in these areas. So he's still a protector. Yes, he might be short, he might be skinny, he might be weedy, but if he protects you from your non-negotiables, and he protects you from psychologically, emotionally, from the world that wants to send you crazy, that guy is a protector. So he was totally broke. Who's this? No, he oh, the man wasn't totally broke. He just didn't earn. She was a millionaire, and the man earned a normal salary. He earned a normal job. He was a normal businessman who did quite well for himself, but he wasn't in a position to provide for a woman who owned a whole, she oh, she was rich. So even if he tried to provide at the level that she's accustomed to, he just would break his back, right? So we're not talking about, getting like a broke man with nothing. Listen, girls, this is not what the Black Swan life is about. But sometimes you will get a man that works super, super hard. He works his butt off. He's got purpose, he's got destiny, he's got, loads of responsibilities. And, you can work with that guy because he's not lazy, waiting on a woman to take care of him. That's a different energy we're talking about, right? If you are in a position where money is not an issue for you, then, and he provides the emotional stability, the being there for you, the guy that listens to you, the guy that will protect you, the guy that provides the confidence for you, the guy that's there and says, come, you go do that, girl. He's still providing. He might not be able to buy you a Lambo or, a brand new car, but, provision, I want us to look at it to say that what we need in our core for each of us is different. For me, a wealthy guy has never been a core need for me because I've never been the girl who needs to be, but as it happens, I've dated a lot of very wealthy men by virtue of how my life is set up, right? But it's never been, oh, I'm sticking around because he's rich, or if he doesn't have anything. And on the same note, I've always given even blue collar guys a chance. I've given carpenters a chance. I've given different kinds of men a chance because money has never been my love language, and I'm just not one of those women who can be miserable but rich. I know some girls who, my mom is like, my mom, she'll be miserable and rich. She loves some money. Money is her love language. If you want to tell my mom that you love her, just give her some money, okay? So some people are like that, and there's no judgment. So for her, my mom would happily be with a very, 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 very wealthy man and not necessarily feel loved as long as he gave her money. So we all have a different love language. But with that, we have to make sure that our personal core needs are met. And so it's understanding that, as my core needs are provided for, I'm provided for. Okay. If he doesn't withdraw from my life, if he's not withdrawing energy, but everything that he brings, when I'm around him, when he's around me, I feel better. I feel I can do it. He doesn't take from me, he gives to me. Like the experience of him is constantly the sense that he's giving of himself, of his time, of his energy, of his being. Do you really want to be like, well, it is. Money is a wonderful tool. It is what money does that makes it great. However, there's more to it than that, just money on its own. Exactly. What if the person you're with has a track record of not being able to sustain a relationship past 2 years. I'm fearful in this relationship. You know, I really feel that um, going on the past, I see what you mean, what your some examples of core needs might be. Going on somebody's past is really, there's something to be said about somebody's track record. There really is. There's a reason why, we employ people with CVs where they've had a track record. There's a reason why we don't allow people who've had, got a long crime history, because usually people repeat patterns. But yes, if somebody hasn't been in a relationship for more than 2 years, in this particular dating and relationship world, that is not a thing for me. It's really very common because we're swapping partners like underwear for the most part. And I am not criticizing that, because if you need to swap partners until you get to the guy that you deserve, you go ahead and do right that. As long as you're not hurting yourself or harming anybody, you go do that. But I wouldn't think, oh, he hasn't been able to hold a relationship for 2 years. And there's some people with, with patterns where, what you need to establish is what happens after 2 years in a relationship for this guy. And this is about the questioning that you're going to question. So what do you think happens at some point? What do you feel? So, some people, you will then pick up a pattern that, after 2 years, he either gets bored or this happens or that happens. So you're ahead of it. But at some point, even that guy with a 2-year pattern is going to marry somebody. Is what we need to understand. And he's ultimately going to marry the woman that makes him feel like she can overcome. So C Flower says, I see what you mean. And of course, the other lady, let me see if I can find your comment. That's Dream Smith 1. I'm fearful in this relationship. That's the piece that I'm concerned about, not his history. I'm concerned about you and what is bringing up the fear. I suspect that the excuse is the man and his 2-year situation, but the fear, you come with that. And his situation is simply a trigger to the explosive that you carry internally. Whenever I hear I'm afraid in this relationship, I can probably guarantee that I will find fear in all your past relationships. It's just that perhaps they didn't mean as much to you. But it means that you are probably a fearful avoidant type. Your attachment style is that you're already a fearful avoidant. So we need to deal with that, the trauma in that, because all people are ultimately that we meet outside of childhood are triggers to internal explosives that we're carrying around. If I'm in a relationship and somebody triggers me, which should happen, if you're in a relationship, you should be triggered. If you're not being triggered in a relationship, then you're not growing. Because a partner is sent to you, if you've done the breakup clinic, for those of you who haven't done it, everybody's got to do it. I don't care if you're going through a breakup or not, because it's going to help you understand relationships, why they break, so that you don't break them, okay? The best thing to do is learn how not to break something, okay? So, and how to really be in one. But we have to understand, love you too, Dreamy Dips. We have to understand that, we are coming into the dating world already ruined by how we were parented, okay? And when I say ruined, I don't want to make the assumption that we had bad parents, but we had parents that did the very best they could, and we're so very grateful and love them dearly for it. But their deficits in parenting, and I've already said to my son, boo, you're going to probably need therapy. End of story and period. And he laughs because he knows it's true. I'm sad as a parent to say, I did my best, but you'll probably need therapy. So when I say that, I'm not attacking parents, but I am letting you know that we have so many types of trauma that we develop in childhood that we bring into our adulthood, and all our adult relationships are a mirror of the parent relationships that we did not complete, that were usually unhealthy, that were good, whatever it is, but we are in a state of continuum. So if you are fearful, chances are might be, and this is often in most cases, that when a man is moving in your life in a way where he wants to stay and he's acting like he's a stayer, then that fear comes up as a protection mechanism to make sure. And I say this to my clients all the time. Thank you. I say this to my clients all the time. Your brain is trying to keep you single because it understands singleness as a safety protocol for you. And some of us don't realize that we actually have brains that are trying to keep us single. So when we do meet a man that wants to commit, that wants to love on us, we will focus on all of the things that are wrong. I see this all the time in my practice. My coaches see it all the time in our practice. The obsession with what a man is doing wrong to the oblivion of the 99.9% of the things that he's doing right. And I've seen women dig for trouble. I was talking to a client of mine who is dating this incredible man. She tried to dump him probably 2 weeks into dating, and I was like, we're not dumping him because he's not done anything for us to dump him. And when she watches this, she's gonna have a giggle because she knows I'm talking about her. He has become very critical of me. Okay. At the end of the day, she started looking. I mean, we went through this, and the other day she sort of finished coaching, like, Chengi, I wouldn't be with this. She's so in love with him, and he's so in love with her, and they're so happy. She's like, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you. I would have already ended this relationship and been on my next. And I was like, yeah, because your mind teaches you to stay single, so will look for reasons why you should remain single. And it's powerful. This thing is powerful, ladies. I don't want you to underestimate your subconscious protocols. They are 30,000 times more stronger than your conscious mind. So it doesn't matter what your conscious mind is saying. I'm ready to get married. I want to find a man, blah, 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 blah. Your mind is wired to find reasons for you to stay single, okay, if you are single. Or if you are in a relationship, your mind is wired to keep you miserable in that. You will only pick up what makes you miserable, right? Now, that's not to say that there aren't people that are genuinely unhealthy in our lives. And that is not to say that they're genuine relationship situations that we should be worried about. Now, for this young lady, Dreamy Smith 1, he's very critical of you. This is something that you need to really pick up a call and call a coach, because I sense that there's way more to the story. Now, obviously, if somebody let's take this at face value and say that this man is particularly criticizes you. My next question to you is, why do you deserve that? Why do you deserve to be somebody who constantly criticizes you? Why did you attract somebody that constantly criticizes you? And I want to tell you this. It's because you have an internal vibration that criticizes yourself. So you've attracted the external manifestation of your inner world. This is called the law of mirroring. This is about the fact that as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. This is what we're told in the scriptures. In the spiritual community, they call it the law of mirroring. As you are, so you will attract. When we're looking at the man in front of us, he is telling us a story about ourselves. Okay? He is speaking to our shadow. We have invited him into our lives so that we've invited him into our lives to that point. Now, I love for Dreamsmith to get through your story, but unfortunately, I'll keep everybody at your story, and I want to move on to the next point. But I'm going to invite you to book a session or join Black Swan Nation, or kind of get a touch point with an actual individual. So what do we have here? I think somebody wanted an idea of core needs. So like I said, go to Swan City, and at the top of Swan City, which is a Facebook group, you will see the training I've done on core needs. I don't want to get into core needs today because the whole training, I think I've even got a few videos on core needs on here. I can't tell you what they're called, but go and have a look of, core needs. An example would be consistent communication. So I am somebody who, I need my man to be in touch daily. It's that simple. I don't, call me, show up, text me, your behind is going to be in touch daily. So that is a core need example, as you've asked. Um, I'd rather that than gifts, because I can buy myself whatever I like, and gifts are not my love language, right? I will appreciate a gift if somebody gives it to me. I will cherish it. I will keep it. I will show it to the world. But it's not my love language. My love language is quality time. So for me, I want my man to spend time with me. I want him to make time for me. So it is more important for me to have that than to have gifts. So, for each of us, obviously, it's different. So you can probably look at it as, the love languages, but obviously in the Black Swan Relationship Academy, we go deeper into you as an individual. Diana Lucas says, how can I be your client and have some advice from you? That's a great question, Diana. If you go to blackswanrelationshipacademy.com and go under the Discover tab, you will see book a discovery call under that. And when you click that, you will get all of the coaches. Okay, you will get you will have myself, the coaches. It's a drop down button. You choose the coach you want to work with, and you choose all the other bits that are given to you. And they will, once you get through the system, the coach that you have chosen will be informed, and obviously you will receive a calendar. So it's actually quite efficient. So all you have to do is go to the blackswanrelationshipacademy.com. I believe it. So Fabienne, I've just sabotaged myself today. I am trying to get back on the dating scene, and I've just ruined a brand new outfit I received in my mailbox, and a very nice dress I wore 3 times. So mad at myself. Oh, sweetie, you haven't sabotaged yourself at all. You just messed up your dress because you're nervous, but it's okay. I'm sure you got a lot of pretty dresses. Yeah, so I think Coach Nadine has just pinned something or put something in the comments for you ladies, for those of you who want to get in touch and have a one-to-one, which I really recommend for every single Black Swan. Even if it's once in your life, make it a possibility. Okay, so we're going to go to point number 2, which is communicate your needs and stick with it. Try different ways and be patient. Okay, so if you're gonna be in a lasting relationship, you're gonna create a relationship that you want, ladies, please, may we not assume that men know how to read our minds. This comes into the academy so much that I feel like I have to put it on repeat. I know that there are a lot of dating coaches who are like, don't say what you want because then he's gonna play you. And I've heard it all before. I've heard if you ask for what you want, a man is gonna feel that you're demanding. Hey, Roller Girl, thank you. Oh, thank you for your donation, baby girl. Thank you for your time and efforts. That is so special. Thank you. I've heard, don't tell men what you, baby, listen. It goes to point number 1. This person was raised different from you, has a different set of parents from you, different set of philosophy, different set of training, different set of this. I mean, this is a completely human person from you. Now, you may have shared values, but you're very different beings. He cannot possibly read your mind or know what little hint means. Oh, hint. Men don't do well with hints. The most respectful thing to do with a man is to ask for your needs to be met in a feminine way. Sweetheart, you have every right to say that, do that, want that. And this is the work of Dr. Pat Allen. And I've got all of that stuff in the How to Talk to Men So They Listen. So you can go to Black Swan Relationship Academy and download. So I don't want to get into too many tools, but you can download that class because there are multiple, tons of tools, right, of how you can ask for your needs to be met. It is important for the high value feminine woman to make it her responsibility to ask for her needs to be met. We have been told these things that are not true. Don't say what makes you happy, let him figure it out. Listen, there's some things in life, especially when it comes to our core needs, that we do not leave to chance. And there are ways of saying it. You know, their ways of saying, look, I get that and understand that it would make me so happy if you would do and say this. The amount of women that I get who are my clients, you know, or in the universe, or in the Black Swan Nation, well, the girls in the Black Swan Nation, they're like pros. But you know, a lot of what I get is, how do I, you know, I really want him to call me. He only called me every 3 days. Well, how often would you like him to call you? Every day, but I don't want to feel like I'm being too high maintenance. Well, sweetie, if you're gonna be with that man and you're pretending as if 3 days or twice a week is sufficient communication for you, you are gonna build up resentment. And then you're gonna start being passive aggressive, or you're gonna start picking at stuff, or you're gonna start doing stuff that you got no business doing, right? I'm 57, and yes, say it now. 100%. Say it respectfully, nicely. Oh, sweetie, I really love that we talk twice a week, but I would love it even more. And it would make me so happy if you touch base with me every day. I'm not talking about a long-winded conversation every day, but I would love to get a text from you or even an emoji. I just want to know that you're thinking about me, and I just want to know that, you know, you care how I made it through the day, right? And he's either going to do it or not. If he doesn't do it, then he doesn't do it. And then you have to decide, okay, normally some people say, well, if he doesn't do it, just keep it moving or keep nagging. No, we're not going to keep nagging, but there are other protocols that we're going to use. Some of us might think, you know what, I asked this of him and he just doesn't do it. And I feel like I don't want to have to keep asking, so I'm going to keep on moving. Good on you, girl. Okay? Because at the end of the day, all we can do is ask. And if the answer is no, then we can keep on moving. Then sitting around, twiddling our fingers, giving little hints, little snide comments, little this or the other, in the hope that he'll get it. And this poor man is probably giving of himself completely and doing all that he thinks women want, but he's not pleasing you because one of your core needs is not met. Olivia, the only reason why I would want to do that is if they're toxic. You're letting them know how to mirror you. If you tell them how you want to be treated, how do you get around that? This is the thing. Toxic people have no desire to meet your needs. Toxic people have a desire for you to meet their needs. We can't, and this is, I think, something that has become so crippling. Oh, he's gonna mirror me. Why shouldn't he? Good men will mirror you. They will. A good man will mirror you. A good man is gonna want to please you. A bad man is gonna mirror you. He's gonna want to please you. This is why you have an intuition. And this is why I get really like emotional about this particular piece, because we in this community who are leaders in the community are misleading you due to fear. We're putting fear in you. Oh, you know, if you tell him what he wants, he's going to go right ahead and are you stupid? Like, are you four? Are you 4 years old that a man is just going to come here and do exactly what you want, even though he's a bloody fake? You know, he's a complete fake, but you are 4 and so naive and haven't lived long enough to know energetically that something's wrong with this guy. I can 100% tell you that if you are with a guy and you're doing he might play me, either you are wounded and you need to sort that out quickly, which is probably most of the time, or really your intuition is screaming at you that this guy is a fake and he's funny. Okay, so whether you play the whole guess game, go on then, guess what I want so you don't mirror me, go ahead, guess, doesn't make him not toxic. Okay, you give him 6 months to figure out that what you like, and he turns out to be a toxic man. You've just wasted 6 months of your life, right? Oh, dreamy tips, thank you, my darling, you're so sweet. Oh, you've just wasted 6 months of your life playing the guess game. Guess what I like. I'm not going to tell you that I love flowers because you're going to send me flowers. And then when you send me flowers, I'm going to be like falling in love with you and pretend. We are black swans. We're not stupid. We're black swans. We're smart women. We use our intuition. We know how to flow in the world. We've lived a bit. I mean, unless, you know, you are literally 15 and fresh to the market, you know when a woman wants to talk to you and her intentions are funny. You know when you are in a room and the woman's going, hi, but you know she doesn't like you. You know when a man is just playing the game to get into your knickers. You know. The rest is just figuring it out. Now, let's say, for instance, you're welcome, honey. Let's say, for instance, he knows how to like, this guy is a psychopath or a narcissist of the highest possible order. Maybe he's the lead narcissist of all the narcissists in the world, or he's a psychopath. Honey, you not telling him is not going to not make you a victim. You withholding your needs being met and not saying what you would love is not going to make you a victim. He's going to make you a victim anyway, because this man had one agenda, right? So when we teach people things like, don't tell him what you want because he's only going to do it and then you're going to, no. You are a woman of value and of worth. If you tell a man, I would love it if you bought me flowers, I love flowers, and he bought you flowers, I should like to think that we're intelligent women, we're smart women, we're intuitive women, that we can say, you know what, I love that you bought me flowers, and that made me feel good about you as a man and it's about me as a woman. I'm so appreciative, but I'm not falling in love with you because of it. But what I am going to be is totally grateful. What I'm going to do is put a little tick in your box to say, you know what, this is a man who, tries to make me happy and does it completely the way that, that is pleasing to me. That makes your dating experience good, because half the time we're not saying, we're getting annoyed. Cavell says, that's why I ask, is I have had 3 narcissists now. Sorry, baby. I'm not laughing at you. I'm just laughing at, I've got a weird sense of humor. My clients know this is how I am, but I completely understand where you're coming from. Listen, if you have a pattern, and for those of you who are listening, if you have a pattern, the problem is with you. Okay. And the problem is not strategy. Okay. This is what I always say. And I don't know who I was talking to the other day, that strategy is this icing on the cake. So things like, what do you say? What do you do? How do you communicate? These are strategy. Strategy is essential. But if you do not if you have an underpinning story, it's like building your house on a sand. I could give you all the best strategies, but what is allowing you to attract a narcissist is issues of codependency that are already in you, and issues of worthiness. So already you have stories that need to be unpacked. We need to unpack your stories, because your stories are becoming a barrier, and your stories are stopping you from actually attracting a man on your vibrational level. Remember what I said to you earlier, that the law of mirroring, as a man is in his heart, so is he. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. As a woman thinketh in her heart, so she is. Every single person, place, or thing is a complete mirror to our internal reality. If I am attracting it, it is either because it is coming in service to a piece of me. So if I am a codependent person emotionally, if I'm a nice girl, but I make it to nice girl rehab, young lady. If I'm a nice girl, or I'm codependent, or if I'm a people pleaser, then I'm always going to attract people that want to be pleased, people that demand that I yield to their will, and people who are like me, people who want to also people please, but they are literally showing me, oh, you've appeared in my life and you've appeared 3 times. This is a lesson I'm not learning. This is a mirror I'm not looking into. And take it from me, because I have had my fair share of narcissists, darling. I have. Maybe even psychopaths. Who knows? Like I always say, everything that I teach you, not everything, but I would say 99.9, I have probably been worse at it than you. I've probably been more for disaster. I have been more for wretched woman. I've made ridiculous and horrible mistakes. I have been a wreck, right? So I am not saying this. True, I was married to a narcissist. Yeah. I'm not saying this because because I'm being mean and saying it's you, it's you, it's you. You know, I'm really saying this because I've had to walk it, and I walk women through it all the time. You can have an experience in your love life where you don't attract narcissists, where you actually attract men that want to take care of you, men that want to cherish you, men that care about what you think. I promise you that this is a reality for you. I do. I promise you. It's not, don't feel in any way that this is your life now as you know it. Okay? It's not true. We are constantly creating our inner reality. If we can transform our internal reality, we will see our world begin to shift in fundamental ways. You know, when you can speak to coaches, the moment they became coaches, they had sudden and fundamental shifts in their lives for the good, because the the requirement for them to work on the internal reality 10x, and therefore their lives 10x. Coach Unique moved to central London, and she will tell you how amazing her life has become ever since. There have been so many shifts in their personal lives because we create the world does not create us. I hope that makes sense. Yes, I finally realized that I'm a nice girl, people pleaser. Had to take a deep dive. It's because of my father was one. It's like I don't know. It's not normal when I'm in it. Yes, I'm so glad that you did that. But it's so important because if something keeps reappearing, it means the lesson needs to be learned. Um, I swear I need a hypnosis. You're totally fine, my darling. All you have to do, Coach Unique says, and my 1 year relationship, don't forget that. Yes, and Coach Unique, finally has this 1 year relationship where she was never able to really get that. And now she's in a loving, amazing relationship. And her relationship with her daughter has shifted. And I direct that completely to when you have to coach, and I put a high demand on my coaches to be in optimal emotional and spiritual conditioning, because it is the requirement of any world-class coach. And we never hear the end of her 1 year relationship. I think it's 1 year and 2 months now. We never hear the end of it in every meeting. Well, just as one who has been in a 1 year relationship. Wow, thank you, my darling Dreamy. That is wonderful. Thank you so much. Wow. One who's been a dreamy relationship, we don't hear the end of it in every meeting, right? It's really exciting. We're happy because this is really powerful experience for her. But what did she do? She changed her internal reality. Okay, we have to, yeah, all of my coaches, bar one, I'm still waiting on this one, are all in wonderful relationships. And I just said to them, right, that's it. In the year, all of you have to be in a relationship, and I don't want to hear anything about it, right? And I knew I could say that to them because I knew the kind of level of transformation that they would go through. So, as a team, all of us are in relationships, and one is still on the hot fire because Mama Swan gonna come and beat her. But it really was about internally shifting, and the girls are saying to me, gosh, Chengi, we thought you were kidding. Like, I'm not joking, right? And every single one of the men that you're dating, I love personally, the amazing men. So we have to sort of understand that the world is not creating us, we are creating the world. We are creating the world that we are living in. Okay, and we have to take seriously the internal work, which is why the Soulmate Attraction System course exists. Again, best to work with a coach on that. But I created the Soulmate Attraction System course to help you and I create an internal world that would then reflect the love we want. And without fail, 100% of the time, every single one of our clients will and have created a love life that is directly oppositional to the one that they had experienced over time. This is how powerful that course is. And you can do a self-study or with a coach, but obviously it's 10x when you're working with a coach who's able to help you dig through some of the stuff. And again, everything is on blackswanrelationshipacademy.com. But we cannot negate that work, and that's why I love Black Swans. I feel very privileged to be in a community of Black Swans because you are smart. You are very smart, and you're women that are invested in a work, and I love that. I have the most deep community, the most thoughtful. Dreamy Dip says, I'm so happy one day I'll have the financial blessing and coaching from you all. Your wisdom is life changing to me. Thank you so much. And we're here for you, baby girl. We're here for you in every way, shape, or form. So we absolutely love you, and we appreciate all the work you do. Dreamy always makes sure she does all the bullet points under the videos. I notice, and I appreciate it. Yeah. So, that's really how you change your story around that. I really want you to know that our stories, the stories we tell ourselves, are creating the reality. The job is to figure out the story, disrupt the story, rewrite the story. If we can do that, your love life is going to completely shift and change. And sometimes it's hard to do by yourself. But I want to just continue in communicating your needs and the importance of it, and then the importance of sticking to it. Don't communicate a need to a man and then change your mind later because you're afraid to lose him. And this is where the nice girl comes in. Okay, just because my need is my need doesn't, and that you might not be willing or able to meet that need right now, doesn't mean that I change my need and make it something else. It doesn't mean, oh well, I don't want to become a pest, so I'll just go with an unmet need. No, it's about, look, it remains my need. Okay, so when I am not feeling myself or showing up in the relationship in the way that you would like me or have become accustomed to me showing up, I want you to know that it's because of that unmet need. And if you are able and willing to meet my need, then I'm going to show up as the greatest version of myself. And the third point to communicating your needs is try different ways of communicating your need. Maybe this way didn't work in the How to Talk to Men So They Listen masterclass. You have different ways of communicating, but maybe at this point, maybe we need a silent communication. Maybe we need to communicate through somebody that we know that our partner will listen to. Maybe we need to communicate that need through his mom or his sister. Obviously, use wisdom around this. But what I want for us is to realize that giving up on relationships easy is not the way of the black swan, because there are a lot of you who come to me and to the coaches because you're regretting because you gave up too quickly on a relationship that you needed to work on. And I don't want you to be that girl who is like, gosh, I was impatient, I should have stuck around. I don't want that to be you. I want you to move through relationships, okay? I don't want you to be people that abort relationships. I don't want you to be people that, have these kind of relationships that are stop-start. I want you to go through a relationship. That means through the discomfort of the relationship, through the effort that it takes to create the relationship, and just go through it to the other side, whatever that other side is. And last in the area of communication is exercise patience. Ladies, some of you, and sometimes Mama Swan, lack patience. Okay, that used to be personally my problem. Patience. I just don't have no time. Nobody. Oh, thank you, Fabienne. Thank you so much for your donation. Oh, you ladies, I love you to bits. I'm so grateful. Thank you so much. I'm so moved. Patience. Can we be patient with the man? Can we be patient with ourselves? And I'm going to tell you something. Where I used to exhibit a lot of impatience with men is because I realized that I had an internal story within myself where I was very impatient with myself. I was very impatient with myself. If I needed to lose weight, it had to be in the next 3 weeks. I didn't ever give my body, my mind, my spirit an opportunity to take its time to get in the flow. Now I'm that kind of girl who's like, in a year or two, I will lose 14 pounds, right? I am so patient with myself. I'm learning that it's not about the overnight success. I'm learning that, yeah, I didn't gain this extra weight overnight. I gained it over time. Bad habits, that I developed over time, thinking, oh, I've always been slim and I'm going to stay slim, right? So if it took me time to get here, then I need to be patient with myself. And what I found is, though it was like a prayer point, Lord, make me patient with men. And for some reason, men triggered this impatience in me that my girlfriends didn't. I'm very patient with people. I'm probably one of the most patient people I know around people. I think Coach Unique was like, good Lord, woman. You know, I am very, very patient with people. Very, very patient with people. But men, whoa, they made me impatient. I was like, look, my friend, if you're not gonna goodbye. You know, I remember sort of dating guys who were like, you are one of those girls who doesn't have time for no man who doesn't perform. And I was like, gosh, even my energy signature had it written all over me. Like, I don't have time for losers, right? Like, if you're not gonna move, if you're not gonna do, if you're not gonna do so, in that regard, I became very controlling. And in that regard, I stopped being feminine, because controlling energy is masculine energy. And I didn't realize that this thing was actually at work in me until I really had a moment where I was like, if I'm hearing this feedback and this stuff is being mirrored back to me, then I'm definitely masculine energy in that regard. And I have to deal with it. But I can't deal with it with that person. I can't practice it outside of my body and outside of myself. Everything we want to see in the people around us, we have to practice within us, because usually it's in us. Whatever you see in another is usually corresponding with what's in you. Remember, everybody's a mirror. So I realized that, well, you know better. You know that this situation is coming to mirror you. So you need to be patient. And I've learned not to be patient with myself. Patient when I make mistakes. Patient when I don't have a great moment in the gym. Patient when I don't go for a few days. Patient when, uh, you know, I make a mistake. You know, I am learning patience with myself, and that's translating in my relationships, right? It's translating in how I handle the men in my life. Well, the man in my life. But we're talking about really kind of, it started off with me. It always starts with you. So let's be patient. We've communicated it. Let's give it some time. Let it sit. Let it rest. Right? Can we just do that? You know, what we do is, wow, I told him yesterday and he still hasn't done it. And I told him and you know, can we let it breathe? You know, can we make an ask and let it breathe? Give it time. See how he moves. Maybe at the time that you're asking, he doesn't have the money. Maybe at the time they're asking, he doesn't have the time. Maybe at the time you're asking, he hasn't quite comprehended what that looks like. Maybe at the time that you're asking, he doesn't have the patience. There's a reason why a need is not met instantly. In a relationship, it's not about instant gratification. Instant. Let's get it now. One thing I want us as Black Swans to inherit is, yes, we're completely to be impatient with jokers. Okay, if a man is presenting as a joker from day one, you know, he's making you travel halfway across the world to meet him for first date because he can't be bothered to come, or he's doing stupid things that are on this channel that are diabolical. Let's keep that one moving. But when we have a man who's a trier, who's showing up to try, what I want us to do is exercise a lot of love and a lot of patience with that man. The next thing is to learn the art of compromise. That was another hard one for me. If you can do these things, if you can understand that no one comes ready-made, communicate your needs, be patient, find different ways, and thirdly, learn the art of compromise. I like to call it the art of negotiation. I would love for us all to look at relationships as negotiations. Okay. We are negotiating a deal for life, for this relationship. And, you know, I was having a conversation with somebody and they were like, oh, you know, this is why I hate being misunderstood. And, you know, this person was really upset. And I said, are you incapable of actually coming to a compromise? Because we get to compromise through negotiation. So is it possible for you to negotiate a deal with your partner where, okay, they want They want you to dress a certain way when you go out in public. Babe, are you gonna wear that? And I'm tired of being told what to wear all the time. Can we negotiate a situation with your partner where we come to a compromise? A compromise looks something like this, babe. You are welcome to wear whatever you like, whenever you like. I mean, live your best life. If you're gonna meet with your friends, if you're gonna meet with in your community, with your people, wear whatever you like. But can we make a deal that if you and I are going out, that you can wear something that I recommend? That's a compromise. That means he doesn't feel like he always has to wear what you think before he walks out the door. So if he wants to walk out the door looking like a friggin' weirdo, let him, because he's not going with you. But if he's going to go somewhere publicly with you and he's prepared to compromise, this is compromise. Obviously, I'm saying it in a very simple way, but it could be even how we have the communication. If you find that you and your partner have certain conversations and usually they come up when you're driving, and that's probably not the best place for that conversation to happen. Instead of saying, hey, I don't want to have this conversation, how about we compromise? How about we say, look, let's set aside a day in the week where we talk about our relationship, whatever's bothering you or whatever things you want to talk about. Let's just set a day in the week where I bring my stuff, you bring your stuff. We give that conversation an hour, and that's it. Whatever we agree in that hour is what we agree. If we don't cover everything in that hour, that's fine. How about I love flowers, but maybe you want flowers every week? But how about we come to a compromise where maybe he wants to buy you flowers, but he just can't be bothered to go and stop his car and buy one. Why don't we come to a compromise where, look, I can subscribe to a flower service and all I need is your credit card, and then you can just pay for it and I'll have flowers. Because I like flowers. They don't have to come in your hand at the door every single time you see me. But it'd be nice to have them delivered, and every time they come, I'm like, oh, my flowers from Johnny, right? I know it doesn't sound romantic, but trust me, there's nothing sexier than a man who meets you halfway and really wants to meet your need. But sometimes we do have to compromise, ladies. It's not our way or the highway. It's not, I want it this way or no way at all. If you're gonna have a successful relationship and create a relationship you want, especially those of us who are still dating, who are still single, I want this to be your paradigm and your mindset. That look, I'm gonna, meet a guy and he's not gonna be ready made. I'm gonna meet a guy and he's not gonna be ready to show to all my friends straight away. We might have to do a bit of work before we introduce him. I'm gonna meet a guy and he's gonna be fantastic in one way, but I don't know. We'll have to do some work in another way. I want you to already have that mindset that look, the guy I'm gonna meet, he's gonna be great for me, but he is helping to resolve a resolution. Yes. But he's not ready made. He probably doesn't have any conflict resolution skills. He probably doesn't have really great communication skills. He probably, we can work on some of these things, and I'm prepared to work on some things with this man I'm about to meet. And I am a really skilled communicator. I am coming into this relationship, into this courtship, with the mindset that I'm a great communicator, because I've been working on my communication skills. I know how to bring the nonverbal into the verbal. I know how to ask for my needs to be met. So even if he doesn't give me intuitively what I need, I'm confident enough to ask for it and to be patient for it, and to ask in ways that may be a little bit creative. I want to see some creativity, girls. Send me your creative ways of getting things done. Let's share it within the Black Swan universe. Let's share how we're communicating with our men in a way that getting this stuff done, right? This is why we're a community. Not everything has to come from Mama Swan or her team. It can come from you. We as coaches can learn from you, okay? So let's find creative ways of asking for our needs to be met, and let's just show a patience. Now, if you're coming into a relationship armored with that, you're going to create an amazing relationship quicker than all your friends, quicker than every woman who is not a Black Swan. Because guess what? Many of us are staying single because we're coming in with the wrong mindset. And if you come in with the mindset that, look, I'm going to have to compromise. I like things a certain way, but I'm gonna have to compromise, right? I'm gonna have to, you know, close a lot of cupboard doors and clean this house a little bit more than I might want to, or hire a cleaner, you know, in order for there to be some sort of order and compromise. There will be a need for compromise. There is no relationship given to us as women or men that won't require some sort of compromise. And this is how we come into the dating space. It's the mindset that we need to come into the dating space with, this mindset of growth, because bringing another person into your life is an opportunity to grow. In fact, I actually believe it's nothing more than an opportunity to grow, you know, and I talk about that in the breakup clinic. You know, a person in our life is the best lesson we will ever have. But if we're rigid and we have a set mindset around things, which I don't want us as black swans to do, I don't want black swans to have a set mindset on stuff. We're here to be creative, innovative, trailblazers. We're here to find feminine, high value ways of getting things done. We're results orientated women. We are all about the result. We're not about campaigning for how the result should happen. We're here for the result. If you can get the result, show us. Let's get the result. Okay, we're not gonna flap about, oh, how did she get the result? You know, we want the result. There are multiple ways. Do you know that there are 19 different ways, solutions to every problem? 19 different solutions to every problem. That requires a creative mind, right? That requires creativity. And guess where creativity resides? In feminine energy. Okay, women have been doing this from time and a day. We have been finding ways to get things done from men without injuring them, being demanding and rude, right? So I want us to really understand that compromise is something we're all gonna have to do. And it sucks. It sucks eggs. Right? If you're anything like me, it sucks eggs. But at the end of the day, keep and bear in mind your ultimate goal. And like I say in the Black Swan Life podcast, which is going to be airing, I'm going to be putting the episodes on this YouTube channel as well, just so that you can have access to it. But we're really talking about unlearning certain things. And a lot of us are being sabotaged by the things that we learned. I want us to unlearn some of the things that we've been told about relationships. The things we've discussed today. Don't tell him what he wants because he could be a narcissist and then he could mirror you. Da, 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 da. Right? We need to unlearn these things and think, look, I'm a big, bad black swan. Come on now. You know, I'm not a little chicken. I'm not a little chicken. You know, I'm not impressed by things that impress chickens. I am a big, bad black swan. And do you know, if you really investigate swans, you will realize that they're the most powerful. One of my lashes is falling off here, and I don't even have a mirror, but I can see it in my eye. They're the most powerful birds. Black swans are feared by animals bigger than them, and they've got the most fragile wings because you don't mess with a black swan. They are just so incredible. You know, I want you to understand that we're not chickens, right? We don't need to play this game at Little League, right? We're women, wholly and completely. Women in the way that we think, women in the way that we move. We're in touch with our feminine energy. We're in touch with our divine feminine. We are moving in this earth as a rare breed and as a rare creature. And what we don't do is play silly games. Okay, we walk in deep self-awareness. We possess a desire to show up truly authentically. Because I don't know about you, beautiful swans, but I don't want to grow old sitting by the shore and thinking, this man never knew who I was. I don't want that guy sitting next to me because I spent a whole lifetime performing, pretending to be what I'm not. I want to be sitting next to a guy when I'm 150 because you never know, we might live that long, people. Technology is making us live way too long. But I don't want to sit there with this guy thinking he doesn't know who I am. And because I know he doesn't know who I am, I don't know who he is. Because I can tell you that the sacredness of marriage is the only way you will survive is if you have intimacy. Into me you see, and you accept me. And I fear that in an attempt to give great strategy, leaders within the space have given us strategies that make it so that we don't have to show up authentically. I don't want to win a man's heart inauthentically. I don't want to win a man's heart. I can. I have the skill set, the tools. But if I don't want that for myself, I don't want it for you. I want you to have and keep and be loved and cherished by a man who knows you, who's in touch with your weirdness. Because we all have a bit of weird in us, and that's what makes us unique. A man that just does what makes you happy. My sister's married to this guy. She told him, honey, I like it when you tell me I'm beautiful. In fact, I need you to tell me that I'm beautiful. And they have been married now for almost 20 years. And every single morning, he wakes up, looks at his wife, and says, good morning, beautiful. She's made up. She's totally made up. And the other day, she called me. She was like, never guess what happened to me, Chengi. And I was like, what happened? She's like, I was walking around with my husband and my wig fell off. I mean, that's why I'm in braids right now, because I'm scared of the falling off wig situation. And she said that that was the first time he had seen her after all these years of marriage without her wig, without a weave. Actually, yeah, she's always had a weave from the moment they've met till he's never actually seen her real hair, because she'll go to the salon, have it done, and come back. And she just happened to start on the wig thing, and she wasn't pinning it, silly girl. And you know, her husband saw her hair, and because he intimately knows her, he said to her, baby, you are so beautiful like that. And now, you know, she has her cane rose done. And she walks around the house with her cane rose, and when she's ready, she'll stick a wig on and off she goes, because she educated that man on how to love her from day one. Now, some of you might think, well, being told I'm beautiful is not a core need. It was for my sister. It's a core need for her. She had been in a terribly abusive relationship where she had been torn to pieces, and she wanted a man who told her she's beautiful every day. And guess what? He loved her enough, and he gave her what she needed. He gives her what she needs daily for 20 years without fail. And even when her wig falls off, and I'm sure she's shown him all types of, maybe she's even blown wind in bed, I don't know, he doesn't not meet her need. She earns more than him. She, you know, she's in so many ways, but he cherishes her because that's her need. He comes home and he kisses her and he makes dinner and he's so loving to her. He's got a job, and whatever she wants, even though she earns more than him, he doesn't mess with her money. But, you know, they've got a good financial plan together. I mean, isn't that a beautiful thing? Because I know she's going to grow old with him, and he will know her weaknesses and love her anyway. And she knows his weaknesses and loves him anyway. And the truth is, isn't that what we all deserve? So if we're out here, you know, selling bits of ourselves, afraid to show up, some of us probably should be, because we are still emotionally broken, which brings me to the question that was asked earlier: how do you heal yourself? That is a loaded gun. It's a loaded question, but I'm going to say this: it is through therapy, counseling, coaching. if you're really going to self-regulate, and here's the thing, I remember when I was a broke single mom working 3 jobs and hearing stuff like this, I used to genuinely believe that no, this is for rich people. Coaching is quite premium. It is not cheap. But I see women every day save up their coins. I had a lady who was into real estate and she so wanted to work on herself. She got a cleaning job and she transformed her life. She just got a cleaning job for months, saved up the money, and now her life is crazy. And when I say crazy, I mean that in an amazing way. It is an investment because, and this is what I say, it's the only investment worth making, because if you can invest in yourself and transform your stories and change your stories, your money is going to look different. Trust me. Trust me. Your money is going to look different. Your relationships are going to look different in general. Your career is going to look different. Your whole life is going to look different. It's going to be the life you've always wanted. And whenever I finish coaching with my clients, I'm like, was that the best money you've ever spent or not? And they were like, I will spend it again. Because I think as women, and I used to do this, I would kill for a holiday, sell clothes online to afford a holiday, you know, just to have 2 weeks and come back to the same stories, because you go on holiday with your stories. You know, I used to think that having an expensive bag or whatever. Now, personally, I spend money on my mind. I spend money on my mind. I spend money on my heart, and I spend money on my mind first and foremost. My mental and emotional health is paramount. And, you know, I pay for coaches for my business coach. I pay for help because the value of that, for me, there's nothing else to it, you know. So I want us all as Black Swans to have a culture of, this is what I want. Yes, definitely, I'm gonna get some money together and work with you. So glad to hear it. I ran camera in concert for Mary J. Blige last night. It's taken almost 10 years for my boyfriend, Knock, to really see me. Wow, congratulations. That's amazing. That's the Black Swan life. That's amazing. So yes, ladies, that's me done with those 3. And I had already promised that I was going to spend as much time as I needed to on this live, because I really want to spend the rest of this year making some serious deposits and making some serious investments in my Black Swans, because I truly believe that you are the ambassadors of this new age, that when we all elevate and have true self-love, true self-healing, we can change the planet. And I believe that it takes this level of conscious thinking, this level of intentionality, to create a breed of women that will change the world. And I know that every Black Swan that I have met, in a large way, in a massive way, in a small way, I know that your heart beats to change the world. So, you know, thank you 1,000,001 for those of you who've donated during this live. So was not expecting it, but I'm truly touched. Thank you. And for those of you who've donated with your time, your comments, your transparency, your openness, and your questions, it's been fantastic. And you've totally encouraged me to come back again and be in service to you. But you will definitely see more of me. And when I finally get it together, I might get the coaches to come on live with me. And we will be spending a lot more time from now till Christmas, really touching base, really kind of touching hearts, because I want you to feel my heart for you. And I want to feel your heart where you are. You're welcome, Roller Girl. Thank you for encouraging me. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you. So unless we're here feeling you, touching you, listening to you, we don't really know how to serve you. So this is really a good place for me. So it's a good thing that my editor didn't get the video to me on time. So next week, Sunday, we're going to be talking with a gentleman called Rob Kowalski. I did an interview with him. He was an ex-stripper. And he's telling us his journey and why he decided to be abstinent. And it's part of the Secrets of a Man's Mind series. The Secrets of a Man's Mind was a course that I did with Coach Unique, which you're welcome to go and again go to the Academy and download, because it's got all of the really amazing secrets. And I decided to interview some men because I thought that it would be handy for you to hear it from their mouths. And without them watching it or anything, they confirmed so much of what we were teaching you in the Secrets of a Man's Mind. But yes, Rob was somebody that I wanted to bring on for those of you who are on a celibate, or he says not celibate, abstinent journey, and want to meet somebody like that. And some of the sort of protocols and some of the ways that, you know, the things that you might have to consider in that instance. But it was really just about bringing somebody different from, you know, from the usual. I want to be able to bring different types of men to this platform because I want us to understand that there are different types of men. So hopefully, thank you so much, Theo. So I am hoping that that episode will be ready for for next week, and you will enjoy it. And let me know how you feel about the series and how you're getting on it and how you feel. And, you know, hopefully before the end of the year, Bishop R.C. Blakes and I will get ourselves together and maybe do something as well, because, you know, we love to hang out. We just can never sync our diaries. And in this case, it's more Bishop's diary that's super busier than mine. I mean, but it's always a bit of a thing. But hopefully before the end of the year, we'll be able to do that. But I am hoping to see you all at the Nice Girl Rehab on the 5th of November, 2022. We're going to be doing that, and then we're going to be going through the rest of the month of November doing the Nice Girl Rehab Reloaded Challenge. I'm excited. I'm excited because this is where it all begins. When you kill the nice girl, when you get her out of your life, you are really going to start experiencing the life that you so deserve. Thank you, Roller Girl. Thank you so much. Well, ladies, what can I say? I'm gonna go. It's almost 90, it's actually 91 minutes, and I've had so much fun sharing with you. I will see you on our next video, on our next live, either on Instagram or YouTube is where you're gonna see me live, and of course in the Black Swan Nation. For those of you who want to be able to access the coaches with one live call a week, and really ask your questions on a Zoom call with a community of women that are amazing, join the Black Swan Nation. Again, all you have to do is go to blackswanrelationshipacademy.com, go under the Academy tab, and join Black Swan Nation. And we are going to be expanding the Black Swan Nation to Black Swan Relationships. So for those of you in relationships, you'll also be well served in there. What can I say? Love you lots, and see you at the Nice Girl Rehab. Take care of you.